If your fantasy team just took a nosedive, you're not alone. Week 3 was a roller coaster of emotions for NFL fans and fantasy football enthusiasts alike. From unexpected upsets to last-minute heroics, this week had it all. Whether you were glued to your TV, nervously checking your fantasy scores, or screaming at the stadium, the highs and lows were felt universally. The drama was relentless, and every game seemed to bring a new twist. Let's dive into the biggest questions and takeaways from every game, starting with the early matchups that set the tone for a wild Sunday. If your hopes soared on a last-second field goal, congrats! Those moments are what make football so exhilarating. The tension, the build-up, and then the release of pure joy or heartbreak. It's a reminder of why we love this game. The precision and nerves of steel required to nail that game-winning kick are nothing short of spectacular. And for the fans, it's a moment of collective euphoria, a memory that will be cherished, at least until next week's drama unfolds. These are the moments that get replayed for years, the kind that turn ordinary Sundays into unforgettable experiences. And if you still believe in the Jets, well, you've got guts. The Jets have been a team of perpetual hope and heartbreak. Their fans are some of the most loyal and resilient in the league. Every season brings a renewed sense of optimism, and every game is a test of that faith. This week, the Jets showed flashes of potential, moments that made you think, maybe this is the turning point. But as always, it's a roller coaster ride with more twists and turns than a thriller movie. The journey is never easy, but for Jets fans, hope springs eternal no matter how many times it gets tested. First up, the early games. These matchups are the appetizers to the main course of Sunday football. They set the stage, build the excitement, and often deliver some of the most surprising results. From underdog victories to dominant performances, the early games are a microcosm of the unpredictability of the NFL. Let's break down some of the standout moments and key takeaways from these initial clashes. The energy in the stadiums was electric, and you could feel the anticipation building with every snap. The Bengals finally woke up. Burrow's arm is back from vacation. After a sluggish start to the season, Cincinnati's offense came alive. Joe Burrow, who had been underwhelming in the first 2 weeks, looked like his old self, slinging passes with precision and confidence. The chemistry with his receivers was evident, and the offensive line gave him the protection he needed to make big plays. This resurgence couldn't have come at a better time for the Bengals, who are looking to establish themselves as serious contenders in their division. If they can keep this momentum going, the rest of the AFC should be on notice. Meanwhile, the Eagles' defense? Let's just say their secondary had more holes than Swiss cheese. It was a tough outing for Philadelphia's defense, particularly their secondary, which struggled to contain the opposing offense. Missed tackles, blown coverages, and a general lack of cohesion were glaring issues. The Eagles will need to address these defensive lapses if they hope to compete at a high level this season. It's a wake-up call for a unit that has the talent but needs to execute better. The coaching staff will have their hands full this week, trying to patch things up before the next big test. Moving to midday, the Browns looked great, until turnovers made them look, well, a little less great. Cleveland's performance was a tale of two halves. They started strong, showcasing a balanced offense and a stout defense. But turnovers, particularly in crucial moments, derailed their momentum. Interceptions, fumbles, and miscues turned what could have been a statement win into a frustrating loss. The Browns have the pieces to be a formidable team, but they need to clean up these mistakes to realize their full potential. Consistency is key, and right now, that's the missing ingredient for Cleveland. The Cowboys' offense was rolling, but can they survive next week's Giants defense? Or will Dak be running for his life? Dallas put on an offensive clinic, with Dak Prescott leading the charge. The passing game was clicking, the running game was effective, and the offensive line held up well. However, next week's matchup against the Giants' defense poses a significant challenge. The Giants have a fierce pass rush and a secondary that can create turnovers. It will be a true test for the Cowboys' offense and could be a defining game for their season. The stakes are high, and all eyes will be on how Dallas responds under pressure, and then prime time. The games that everyone circles on their calendar, the matchups that promise high drama and intense competition. Primetime games are where legends are made and where teams can make a statement on the national stage. This week did not disappoint, delivering nail-biting finishes and standout performances. The atmosphere under the lights is always electric, and this week's showdowns lived up to the hype. The Chiefs barely squeaked past the Giants. It was a game that had fans on the edge of their seats from start to finish. Kansas City, known for their explosive offense, found themselves in a dogfight against a resilient Giants team. The Chiefs managed to pull out the win, but it was far from a convincing performance. Questions about their defense and consistency remain, and they'll need to address these issues if they hope to make another deep playoff run. Every week, the margin for error gets smaller, and the pressure mounts for Kansas City to find answers. That defense, still throwing up more red flags than a challenge review. Kansas City's defense has been a point of concern all season, and Week 3 was no different. They gave up big plays, missed assignments, and struggled to get off the field on third down. The talent is there, but the execution is lacking. If the Chiefs want to be considered true Super Bowl contenders, their defense will need to step up and complement their high-powered offense. Otherwise, they risk being exposed by tougher opponents down the stretch. And Rams versus Eagles, blocked field goal, last-minute heroics. The football gods were showing off. This game had everything you could ask for in a primetime matchup. The Rams and Eagles traded blows in a back-and-forth affair that came down to the wire. A blocked field goal and a last-minute touchdown were the highlights, showcasing the drama and unpredictability that make the NFL so captivating. Both teams left it all on the field, and the fans were treated to an instant classic. Games like this are why we tune in week after week, never knowing what's coming next. So, what's the big picture? Week 3 gave us a lot to think about. Teams are starting to show their true colors, and the playoff picture is beginning to take shape. Some teams are emerging as legitimate contenders, while others are facing serious questions about their future. It's a long season, and there's plenty of football left to be played. But Week 3 was a pivotal moment for many teams. The storylines are getting juicier, and every win or loss feels more significant as we move deeper into the season. Can the Packers offense find any rhythm? Green Bay has been one of the most perplexing teams this season. Aaron Rodgers, usually a model of consistency, has struggled to find his groove. The offensive line has had its issues, and the receiving core has been inconsistent. The Packers need to find a way to get their offense clicking if they hope to make a deep playoff run. It's a situation worth monitoring as the season progresses. The pressure is mounting, and the window for adjustments is getting smaller each week. Are the Dolphins' defense legit, or just a Week 3 mirage? Miami's defense was one of the standout units this week, making big plays and creating turnovers. But the question remains, is this a sign of things to come, or just a one-off performance? The Dolphins have the talent on defense, but consistency has been an issue. If they can build on this performance, they could be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC. Only time will tell if this is the start of something special, or just a flash in the pan. And is the NFC East finally ready to be more than a meme? The division has been the butt of jokes for years, but Week 3 showed signs of life. The Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Commanders all had moments of brilliance, and the competition within the division is heating up. It's too early to say if the NFC East will shed its reputation as the NFC least, but the early returns are promising. This could be the year the division reclaims its respectability. Rivalries are intensifying, and every divisional matchup is starting to feel like a must-win. Week 3 had it all. Thrills, spills, and more questions than answers. From the early games to the primetime showdowns, it was a week that reminded us why we love football. The unpredictability, the drama, the sheer excitement of it all. Every week brings new storylines, new heroes, and new heartbreaks. It's a roller coaster ride that we can't get enough of, and Week 3 was a perfect example of that. As we look ahead, the only thing we know for sure is to expect the unexpected. Drop your Week 3 MVP in the comments, and hit subscribe for more NFL chaos every week. We want to hear from you. Who stood out to you this week? Which performances blew you away, and which ones left you scratching your head? Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and stay tuned for more in-depth analysis and breakdowns. The NFL season is just getting started, and there's so much more to come. Don't miss a moment of the action. Subscribe now and be part of the journey. Your voice matters, and together we'll make sense of every wild twist this season throws our way.